Trigger warning. The following podcast contains content that may be deeply disturbing. You will hear first-hand accounts from parents and family members who have lost children to filicide, the murder of a child by a parent or caregiver. These stories are raw, emotional, and shared from the perspective of those who have lived them. They include details of unimaginable loss, system failures, and trauma. Please take care while listening. If at any point you need to pause, stop, or step away, we understand. Welcome to Voices Against Filicide. I'm your host, Hope Hooton, an advocate and a mother turning my pain into purpose. This podcast sheds light on filicide cases, statistics, who these children were, the advocacy being done, and so much more. Together, we speak the truth, honor their lives, and fight for change. Before I go any further, I want to take a moment to honor two of the brightest lights I've ever known. My two children, Alec and Lydia. Alec with his love for Pokemon, and Lydia with her bright blue eyes and love of unicorns. They were my joy, my whole world. They were joy in human form. Their imaginations, their lives, all of it lives on in me and in this podcast. In the work I do every day, spreading awareness and making change. This podcast is for them. It's for every child's voice who was silenced too soon. Alec and Lydia, you are my why, and I will never stop fighting in your name. Thank you for joining me on today's episode, and let's get right into it. Today I am joined by Christy Kamara, Wyland's mom, and I am so honored to have you on today's podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Hope.
Thank you for joining us today. So, Christy, before I get started, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then if you could go into a little bit of what Wyland was like.
A little bit about myself. That's a good question. Who am I now that my son has died? I guess that's a question that I'm constantly asking myself, because the role of being a mom, being Wyland's mom, has shifted so drastically in the last 6 years. Sometimes I don't know who I am.
Yeah, I get that.
It's gone from making lunch and taking Wyland to school to doing podcasts and interviews and advocating for children to keep them safe against gun violence. So I don't really know how to answer who I am.
No, I totally get it. Your whole identity is gone, and I want my audience to know I feel the same way. I am not a teacher anymore. I'm not a mother anymore. I'm not a wife anymore. I, don't live where I used to live anymore. So these things that we're talking about today, yes, they're heavy, but it's reality. It's our reality of what we live through on a daily basis.
Yeah. I have to correct you. You are a mother still. You're just doing different mothering. You're mothering in a different way than how we were used to mothering.
I guess that's true. How would you describe mothering now?
Well, we're still both fighting for the memory of our children to stay alive and doing anything we can to do that, as well as trying to prevent more children from dying.
Yeah.
So I don't know of any better description of being a mom than to doing those things.
Yes, that is true. Thank you for correcting me.
Mhm.
This is why I have people like you in my life. So can you tell me, who Wyland was as a little boy, what he liked to do, what made Wyland special?
Wyland was so full of life as a little boy and fun, silly, funny. I feel like he was wise beyond his age, yet playful. He was my best little buddy, and I tried to take him everywhere and show him a full life. So with that being said, I feel like he was a little bit more mature because he didn't have any siblings, so he kind of hung out with adults a lot, but was still childlike and playful at times until he got to be a little older, and then the relationship with his father was a little bit more trying for him. Stressful.
Yeah. How old was Wyland when he passed?
He was 10 years old when he passed.
Okay. Is there any special memories you talk about? You took him everywhere, so I'm assuming there was a lot of memories. Can you pick out one or two that you would like to share, if you would like to, with our audience?
Sure. I mean, when I say I took him everywhere, I tried to take him everywhere. I didn't want to miss out on vacationing. So when my sister turned 30 and there was a celebration in Vegas, I took Wyland. His father didn't want to go, and so I took Wyland, and we did what we could as Wyland was about a year old, and I strolled him around, and he saw the sights, and we went to the M&M store and made the best of a trip that is geared towards adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he got to experience Vegas. Not the way most people do, but I also took him to Portugal when he was 5 years old. We had a family trip and went to Portugal, so we got to travel and see things. That was his first plane ride ever. Actually, his only plane ride ever was to and from Portugal.
Wow. That's a long plane ride.
It is a long plane ride, and but we got to really have a good time and experience. I feel like a lot in the short 10 years that he was here.
Yeah. I feel the same way about Alec and Lydia. I got to share a lot of memories and things with them that, I mean, I didn't do as a small child when I was younger. So I was happy that I got to do those things with them. So, I guess if you could share a little bit about what happened to Wyland, you don't have whatever you want to share. No pressure or anything. I guess is the next step of our journey.
Okay. A little over 6 years ago, on March 2nd of 2020, I arrived at Wyland's grandparents' house to pick him up and take him to school on a Monday morning because he had stayed the night with his father, who lived with his parents. And I drove up to see my ex-in-law's house, taped off with yellow crime scene tape and police officers everywhere. As I was driving up the road, the police officers were motioning for me to turn around and go back the other way. and I told the officer that I was there to pick my son up to take him to school. And that's when the police officer radioed over to someone else, and they told me they were going to take me down to the police department and question me. And nobody gave me any indication of anything that was going on. Since this happened in my hometown, a few of the emergency providers, the firefighters, police officers, I knew them. I went to high school with them. As they passed me by, I said hi, what's going on? They couldn't look me in the eye, of course, because they already knew what had happened. So as the minutes went on, everybody knew except me. So they took me down to the police department in a police car, and I called my parents and I asked them to meet me down at the police department. Told them I was there to pick up Wyland. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going down to the police department now. So they met me down there, and finally they put me in a room, and I don't know how much time passed. It could have been 5 minutes. It could have been an hour, it seemed. But I was there and with my parents, and then the police officers came in and started questioning me and my relationship with my ex-husband and what had happened in the last 24 hours. Then they wanted to see my cell phone, and they wanted the password to get onto my cell phone. I asked, like, what do you need from my phone?
Yeah, why were they asking you that?
Am I in trouble for something? Like, what is going on here? So at that point, then they finally told me that there was an incident with a gun, and Wyland was shot, and he did not make it. And then proceeded to tell me that his father turned the gun on himself, and he did not make it either.
I guess my questions in my head going through this, something very similar, is did they just not have enough time from when they got to the scene to when you got there to call you? Like, why didn't you know sooner?
I believe it was all happening
so quickly,
about the same time. To be honest, I haven't gone through the records of the 911 call or anything. I think it was about 7:20, 7:25, and to the best of my knowledge, I showed up about 7:35. That's about the time I would normally pick Wyland up to take him to school. So I believe this was all happening as I was driving to the location.
You said he lived with his family. Were they home at the time?
His mother was home. Yeah, his mother is the one that walked in and saw her only son and her only grandson.
Yeah. Jeez. I don't even know what to say, because a lot of that story is my own. I was taken to the police station. I was asked questions. I totally understand how you were saying it could have felt like 5 minutes or an hour. I felt the same way. The time, there was no concept of time. So I get that 100%. I understand. What did you do after they released you from the police station? Can you remember anything that transpired after? What did you do?
Yeah, my parents and I drove to the hospital to see my son. And at that point in time, I think it was about 9:30 in the morning, so I assume I had been at the police department for a good hour and a half. Or at least that's how I remember. So he had already passed away 2 hours before, and we went in and said goodbye to him. I just remember standing outside of the emergency room and thinking, if I don't go in, it's not real. It hasn't happened. And I'm so sorry if me sharing my story is bringing up so many things for you. It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to. And
it's important it's important for my audience to hear, because I feel like, and I know I've talked to you about this, but people don't believe that these things happen, or how could somebody harm and murder their own child, or, this is just a one-off thing that happened to Hope in Arizona. And this is why I have this podcast, is to shed light on stories. Even though these are hard, I want to make sure that people understand that this isn't just a one-time thing that happens. It happens all the time, unfortunately. So it's hard to talk about, but it's needed. So I really appreciate you being open with me and speaking with me about this. And I know that your story is not only helping me, but it's helping people that are watching and listening. So,
yeah, unfortunately, there's too many of us that you've had to create a whole podcast to share these stories and share these children that were taken in such a horrible way.
Yep. But we have to. I was just at a conference with hundreds of people, and it was on filicide, and about 5 people in the audience knew what filicide was, and those 5 people were the people that I work with on a daily basis. The regular public in the audience, no idea. When the lady asked, do you know what filicide crimes are? They didn't raise their hands. So this is a silent epidemic that is happening across our country, and nobody knows about it.
So you were at a whole event with 100 people, and it was for filicide, and they didn't know what filicide was?
My session was on filicide.
Oh.
There was other sessions on other things. It was a crime convention and an advocacy convention. And so there's other sessions. And so my session was filicide.
Okay. Thank you for explaining.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think that it's important. I was so honored that they asked me and another mom that's went through filicide to share our stories and do a whole session on filicide, because, like I said, that's not usually talked about. So
I agree. I had no idea what the word was until it happened to me.
Same thing. No idea what it was. I remember sitting on my sister's couch, and I don't even know why I Googled it, but I Googled like parents killing their own children, and the word came up. And so I didn't even know that there was a word associated with that until after it happened.
No.
So, yeah, I guess, moving forward, what have you been doing since his passing? What types of advocacy have you done? I know this, but I want you to share with the audience.
Gosh, shortly after he passed away, I feel like I announced maybe at his candlelight vigil or some event that there was going to be a Wyland's Law. I just didn't know what it looked like. So putting that out into the universe, we didn't know exactly what portion of the system failed to keep Wyland safe, but when we discovered what failed, we wanted to make changes to help other people and other children. So last year, in October of 2025, we got Wyland's Law passed in the state of California. Wyland's Law consists of when a restraining order is issued with a firearm prohibition, the restraining order needs to be put into the legal system within 1 business day. And with the restraining order being put into the system, the restrained person has the right to verify that it has been put into the system.
Okay.
What happened in my case was there was a restraining order with a firearm prohibition issued in December of 2016, I believe. And that order was not put into the system that California uses to prohibit gun sales until August of the following year. So for over 8 months, that order sat somewhere and wasn't in the system. So during that time in May of that year, my ex-husband was able to legally go into a gun store and purchase a firearm.
Okay.
When he was legally prohibited from owning a firearm, but the Department of Justice never received the
notification
order.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's shitty, and I'm sorry that happened, and this is why we're changing laws, and hopefully with Wyland's Law that error won't happen again. So
yeah, I heard one person in particular from Wyland School. I went out there for the 6-year anniversary to Wyland School to take a little bouquet of balloons to his friendship bench that's at the school. And one of the administrators shared with me that a student's parent confided in her and is going through a custody battle with her ex and knew about Wyland's Law and was able to ask for Wyland's Law to be used and make sure that she got her restraining order put into the system in a timely fashion. So in her words, not mine, she said Wyland's Law saved her child's life.
Amazing. That's great that it's already protecting people and children. So that's great.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, our children had to be the catalyst for this change, which sucks. I wish that our children didn't have to be the example. But at least we are protecting other children.
I agree with you. This is a terrible, these are terrible situations that we have now had to try to make laws for, to save other children's lives. But, if there was a couple moms that did this 10 years ago, maybe they would have saved our child's life. So,
Yep.
I feel that we have to continue doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Even though it hurts, it would be so much easier not to do anything.
Oh, 100%. And it'd be so much easier, if they were here and we didn't have to have podcasts and legislation and, all the things that we're doing. I'd just rather have my children back. But that's not reality. That's not going to happen.
Not at all.
I think I connect with you because you lost your only child and I lost my only children. And so, like you said in the beginning, you don't know who you are now. And I still feel that way. And I don't know how long that's going to take to change, to find out who I am, I guess. So that really sits with me really heavy because, my whole identity is gone, So,
Mine too.
yeah.
Mine too. And what identity I've created in the last 6 years is something to be proud of, but nothing that I'd really want to be part of.
Yeah.
I didn't want to author a book.
Correct. You authored a book.
I didn't want to.
Yeah,
I didn't want to write. I didn't want to have a law in my son's name. I didn't want to do these things.
Yeah.
But like I said before, this is just another form of how I'm being Wyland's mom, is continuing to get the message out about filicide and hoping everybody still remembers Wyland.
Yeah, they will.
Yes.
They will.
I'm forcing it down everybody's throat because...
Correct.
He has a law, and every year in my hometown, for his birthday, the local street fair farmers market that is on Thursday nights, it runs from May through October. One of the Thursday nights around his birthday is dedicated to him. It's called Happy Birthday Wyland, and we offer free rides and usually a treat like a snow cone or a piece of cake or something to all the kids to celebrate Wyland's birthday. And it's the only time the whole year that all of the rides are free for the kids. And so I only wanted Wyland to be a child and to enjoy his childhood. And so if he can't, then I'm fortunate that my community, the children of our community, can go out and have a good time, at least for one night of the year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're talking about your book. Can you share more about that?
So like I shared, I never wanted to write a book. I never considered myself a writer, and I would say I hated writing before. But approximately maybe 2 years after Wyland died, I was speaking with Leslie, our friend in common, who unfortunately lost her son Pierce the same way we both lost our children. And she said, "You should write a book." And I said, "That's so funny that you say that. Somebody else told me that I was going to write a book, and I just laughed. I'm not a writer." And then the next day, I just kind of had an epiphany and a thought, I'm going to write a book, and it's going to be called Can I Still Be Funny After My Son's Murder? And I just started writing. I feel that Wyland was sending me all of these stories. I was waking up in the middle of the night and writing down stories and memories that I had. And at first it was just going to be a collection of memories of Wyland, because I was afraid that I was forgetting all of these stories, and I was forgetting his voice and his smile. Sometimes it's just so hard to think about those things, that I push them away. So I didn't want to forget any of these memories, so I started writing them down, and then it just became a book of memories before Wyland, memories while Wyland was here, and now how those the same memories or actions, or how can I explain it? For example, Halloween as when I was a child and growing up, Halloween with Wyland, and then Halloween without Wyland, especially the first year. You see crime tape used as Halloween decorations, which seem very normal to a lot of people, and for probably a year, I couldn't see crime tape on television without breaking down and crying. It was just too traumatizing and too much of a reminder of driving up to the scene of the crime. So, ironically, I took that and used it as a portion of my cover, and I made the crime scene tape wrapping around a notebook, because it's a notebook of my memories wrapped in crime and wrapped in this tragedy that nobody ever thinks could happen in the town you grew up in, or somebody you know, let alone yourself.
Yeah. Is that available on Amazon, or where can my audience find it?
Yes, it's available on Amazon, paperback, hardcover, and ebook.
And we'll put that in the show notes, everyone. So if you want to go down to the show notes and you can click on it and get your copy.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we'll also put your website, if you would like to share about how you created this website. And because of that, you are amazing with Canva, and you've helped me.
Oh, thank you. It is again, one of those things that I never thought I would be learning how to do. As before Wyland died, I was working as a manicurist and I was teaching yoga, not doing computer work all day. And so in the meantime, I taught myself a couple tricks on Canva, and I'm happy to use my skills and share them with other moms that need help on that. I started a website when I was writing my book, and it was initially to promote my book at wylandsmom.com, but now it's a collection of information and the process that we took to get Wyland's Law passed, all of the articles and interviews that I've been on in the last 6 years, as well as some of the stories of some other moms like yourself, who have gone through the same tragedy of losing their children through filicide.
And that will be in the show notes if anyone wants to look at that as well. This was a great interview. I'm, again, sad that we've had to do this, but happy that you are able to come and share a little bit about Wyland and what you're doing to advocate for him and for children to stay safe when it comes to gun violence. So thank you for being on. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me and letting me share Wyland and Pierce and your children. Thank you.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to share with the audience before we go?
I guess another part of my advocacy is my employment with Pierce's Pledge. So I work for Pierce's Pledge, and Pierce, like I shared earlier, was a victim of filicide as well. And so after becoming friends with Leslie, his mom, she started Pierce's Pledge, and that Pierce's Pledge encourages lawyers to take a pledge that they ask their clients to safely store firearms during custody lawsuits. And that was the beginning of Pierce's Pledge, and now it has manifested into having the first national gun storage map and training materials for lawyers and judges. Because like you shared with me a little while ago, a lot of people don't know what filicide is. So if we can educate lawyers and judges about what filicide is, and all of the traits, if you will, that someone could be capable of committing filicide, maybe these law officials will be able to see a little clearer when us victims of domestic violence are in court, in custody, not seeing clearly. Maybe they can see clearly through what's going on.
That's my hope. So, yeah, it's amazing what you guys are doing at Pierce's Pledge and what you and Leslie are doing, and I'm so blessed and honored to call you a friend. And
likewise. Look at how much you've been doing. It's not even been a couple years, and you are just out there.
Yeah, almost 2 years. I just feel like I had to do something, like you said. Like I couldn't just sit at home and do nothing. Like I just had to get out there, and like you said, I had no idea what I was doing. I don't have any idea usually with the podcast. I'm like, okay, we're gonna try this and see how it goes, and now we're on the 3rd season of the podcast, so it's amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. Congratulations to you. Great job.
Well, thank you, everyone. If you found this episode helpful, please share it. Please make sure you leave a 5-star rating and review. And also make sure that you come back for the next episode. This is your host, Hope Hooton. And until next time, see you later.